Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science class. So in our previous video we have seen the structure of C++ program. We have seen the one of the programming example wherein the structure of C++ program consists of the first comment section, which is an optional, right? And then we have the linker section, which is a mandatory one. Then the definition section optional, global declaration section is optional, main function, then opening flower braces, then the declaration, variable declaration section, then we have the executable statement section, and then subroutine. So this subroutine here section doesn't have any explanation, so but you need to write this complete structure, then quote one programming example, this one, and then give the brief introduction, or give the brief explanation of each section like this. So I'll be providing this in the notes. Next we have started with the library functions. That is the first library function we had discussed about the mathematical functions here. So all these comes under the header file known as math.h. If I have to use any of these built-in functions, then I have to use an header file, that is math.h header file. Moving on to the next important 5 marks question, character function. You can definitely expect this question from your exam point of view, 5 marks, or they may ask you explain any 3 character functions. The first function is here. Before I start with this, if I have to use any of these built-in function, then you have to use an header file known as the ctype.h here. Okay, so hash include ctype.h you have to write, and then use these functions like how we have hash include iostream.h, the same way we can use. The first one is alpha. So is alpha, it returns true if C is an alphabet, not an uppercase. It's a mistake here. It returns true if C is an alphabet and return false if C is not an alphabet. That means true in the sense it returns the value as 1. False in the returns, it returns the value as 0. Now let me go to the next one. Then I'll show with the programming example. This we have discussed like is digit. Next one is digit. So it returns true if entered C. This is an argument. Okay, this is an argument. So is digit of C means what? I may write it as, instead of C may contain the number as 9. Is digit of 9. That means it has to return me the true if C is a digit. Otherwise it returns me the false. If I enter as is digit of C is equal to A, if we have written, that's a character, right? So is digit of A, if I write, it should return me as a false. Similarly we have is alphanumeric. Okay, is alphanumeric, it returns true if we have entered character is digit or the entered character is any alphabet. For both of them it should return as it returns as true. So wherein the digits it is supporting from 0 to 9, and alphabets both it is supporting for the uppercase and the lowercase. Otherwise if we give any value like dollar, okay, less than, greater than, any special characters like underscore, then it should return me as the false. Okay. Now first 3 we shall explain this with an programming example here. The first one is alpha. Is alpha, what it is? It returns me true if the entered character is a alphabet. Okay, it returns me false if entered character is not an alphabet. Now look at this. Our main program comment section is an optional, so I've skipped it. Linker section I've included. Then the main function, character C, right? I have declared a variable known as C of data type character. C out, I'm asking the user to enter the character. So C in C. That means whatever suppose the user is entering as Z, okay, that Z value will be stored in a variable C. That means this C, why I am declaring is in the sense whatever the user is entering, the value will be stored in a variable known as C. That's what is console input. Console input accepts the data whatever the user has entered from the keyboard and store that data into the value into the variable known as C. Next what I'm checking, if condition I'm checking. So how this if works, if on satisfying the condition, it executes the true part of the statement, else it executes the false part of the statement. Now, if what I have to check, whatever the user has entered the entered the value from the keyboard, is it a character or not? Therefore, if is alpha of C, C is holding what? Just now I said enter the character, the user have entered as Z. So C will be replaced with the Z there. If entered character is alphabet, then it should return me the alphabet. It has to return me the true part that it is an alphabet, else it should return me it's not an alphabet. So when I write this particular code, I have to go for compiling. Compiling means what? The process of determining the syntax and semantic errors. Syntax in the sense what? The rules. Okay. The rules, whether each statement is being terminated with semicolon or no. Okay, whether if statement I have written correctly or no, cout statement, cin statement. So that is what is checking the rules. Semantics in the sense whether I have written the logic properly or no. Okay, like is alpha correctly I have written or no. That is what semantics. So compiler will compile the entire code, and if any error are there, it will give me here error as 1, 2 like that, it will give me error. Since my code is completely clear, it is giving me errors as 0. After this, I'll go to run the code. See here, the first, what is the statement? Cout statement. It's a printing statement, right? So enter the character. I have entered, I had given as U. Okay, I have given the small letter as U here I am giving. So that U will be accepted by the cin operator. So U alphabet will be stored in a variable known as C, and the next, when the compiler goes to the execution of this statement, the C will be replaced with the U. So is alpha of U, whether U is an alphabet? Yes. So therefore I got the correct. So because U is an alphabet, this if condition will execute the true part of the statement. Therefore I got a statement as it is an alphabet. Similarly, one more output I had taken. Now this time enter the character means I had entered the number as 4. So this 4 will be stored in a variable known as C. So here C will be replaced with 4. What it is checking? If is alpha of 4. That means is alpha in the sense what? Whether the entered character is alphabet or not, it is checking. Now the what is entered character is 4. Therefore, it's not an alphabet, right? So it will skip the true part and it will execute the false part. Therefore, I got the output as it is not an alphabet. Now this what you are seeing, it's a cursor actually. Okay, it's a cursor. So don't worry about that. So when I enter the character as 4, it is giving me it's not an alphabet. When I am entering the character, any of the character, here I have taken an example as U. You may enter any of the uppercase or the lowercase character, it will give an it is an alphabet. So this is how is alpha it is used to check to determine whether the entered character is an alphabet or not. Similarly, we had with an example with an is digit, right? So the same example I can execute and see, show here. Is digits, just the code remains the same here. Now here enter the digit. I am asking the user to enter the digit. So that digit 50 is being stored in a variable known as C. So if of is digit of C means what? C means if of is digit of 50 it is actually. So C will be replaced with 50. Yes. Is digit 50? Yes. It's a digit. 50 is a digit. Therefore, it executes the true part of the statement. That's why I am getting the answer here as it is a digit. Look at here. When I execute, when I give the enter the digit as H, H is an alphabet, right? When it is been replaced with C with a H there, H is not at all a digit. Therefore, it will execute the false part. Therefore, I got the output here as it is not a digit. So, this is how you can use the is digit character function. Similarly, what was the next one? That is alphanumeric. That means what? It is nothing but if it will detect, it will provide you the true statement even if it is alphabet. It will provide it as a true statement even if it is a digit. It's an alphanumeric character. Look at here. See, enter the alphanumeric character I am giving. Okay, whatever I am giving A2. It's a combination of both an alphabet and numeric. I am giving it as an A2. When I give an A2, it's an alphanumeric, alphabet plus numeric. I can call this one as alphanumeric character. So A2 will be replaced with C here. Is okay, if is alpha of alphanumeric of A2. That means whether the entered character is alphanumeric or what it is checking. Yes, A2 is an alphanumeric, therefore the true part of the statement will be executed. That's how I'm getting the output here. But the same thing, I have given the input here as percentage. I have given this is a special character, correct? So when I give the special character, the special character is being replaced with a C. So if is alphanumeric of percentage, whether percentage is an alphanumeric? No, right? Therefore I'm getting the false part of the statement has been executed. Students, these programs are not there for your examination. Only thing they will be asking you, explain the character. Explain the character functions or any 5 character functions they will give you. So you need to write this complete table with the function name and the complete description. Okay. Sometimes they may ask you to explain any 5 character functions they may ask, or they may ask for 5 marks. Sometimes they may ask you to give explain any 3 character functions they will ask. So you can just take any 3 whichever you are comfortable with. You can write any of the 3, but function name with argument is a must. Without argument if you write, the marks will be deducted. So the function name plus it takes arguments. Without argument it cannot check. Whatever the argument it is having, no, based upon that only it is checking whether it's an alphabet or not, whether it's a digit or not. So just for you all to get an idea how these character functions will be used in programming concepts, I'm just showing this with the help of program so that you all can easily understand. If I just read out these, try to explain, even you may not understand. Okay, next one we shall see is lower of. What it is telling, whether if the entered character is lowercase, it should return me it as a true, else it is returning me to as the false statement. Okay, now let us see that. Yeah, you see here. So enter the alphanumeric character. It's not an alphanumeric, so you can take it as just enter the character. It is just a string, it doesn't matter here. Okay, so enter the character. So here in this example I have given the R, capital R I have given, so that will be replaced here with the C. So if E is a lower of capital R, it is checking. So capital R is not at all a lowercase alphabet. Therefore, the false part of the statement will be executed as it is not an lowercase alphabet. Similarly, when I give the lowercase alphabet as R here, okay, it will check is lower of smaller case of R. So since it is a lowercase, the true part of the statement will be executed. I hope students you are able to understand. So similarly here, please kindly cooperate because this is a screenshot taken directly whatever the program I have executed, that is the screenshot it is. So because of just light shade, please kindly cooperate here. So now next one is we are having we need to check whether the entered character is uppercase or not. Just replace the function with the is lower to is upper. So this function will determine whether the entered character is uppercase. If so, it executes the true part, else it executes the false part. Now look at here, enter the character capital A I have entered, capital A. Since it's an uppercase alphabet, the true part of the statement will be executed and it gives me as it is an uppercase alphabet. Clear? Then when I enter the lowercase alphabet, it is giving me the print as it is not an uppercase alphabet. Okay. Similarly, the next two functions are very important. Now till now we have checked whether the entered character is uppercase on the lowercase, but the next two function, that is 2 upper and 2 lower, 2 upper actually converts the given character to the uppercase, and whereas 2 lower, it actually converts the given character to the lowercase. Now here is an example. Yes, 2 upper, you can see here, enter the character, whatever you might have given the character, the lowercase t you have given. So what happens is the t is being stored in a variable known as c here. Now 2 upper of c, that means what? 2 upper, c is being replaced with the t, smaller case t here. So after conversion, this is an assignment operator. How it works? After conversion, whatever the value is there in the right hand side will be assigned to the left hand side. So therefore, where is my converted alphabet? Converted alphabet is there in the variable known as X. Okay, so therefore see out the uppercase character is, where is my answer? My answer is in the variable X. So therefore I am printing the X here. Therefore enter the character. So I have entered as T. After it is smaller case, because of using the function to uppercase, this lowercase t is converted to the uppercase, and then the same statement, you see the uppercase character is what the converted character will be displayed as a capital T. So what now confusion might be, what if I have entered the uppercase character only? Okay, what if you have entered directly the uppercase case letter as T, then conversion will not happen. So as it is, it will remain as it is. It will give the output as the uppercase character is T only. Okay, even though you are entering the lowercase also, any lowercase of alphabet, if you are entering also, it will convert. And even if you are entering the uppercase character only, if you are directly entering also, it gives the same answer only, same as it retains the same uppercase character. I hope students you are able to follow. Similarly, we have with the lowercase conversion, we can convert the lowercase. See here, enter the character. I have entered here capital R. After here, what happened, that R to lower will convert that capital R. Okay, after conversion, the value will be assigned to the left hand side variable, because we are using the assignment operator. And where is my answer? Answer is being holded by a variable known as X. Okay, so X. Okay, so which is of data type is character. So the lowercase character is, the answer is in the variable known as X here. So I got the answer, the lowercase character is R. Okay, similarly the uppercase has been converted to the lowercase. What if you are directly giving the lowercase r? If you are given the lowercase r, means it will retain the answer as it is. No changes will be done. I hope students you are able to understand how these character functions are being used. Okay. Let us move on to the again and very important question, that is the string functions. See, in this particular chapter, string functions and character functions are very important, and they are the definite, either of the one will be definitely asked in the annual examination and your upcoming whatever examinations are there. So string function, what is a string? We should know. Previously, what is a character? Character is nothing but a single character which are enclosed in a which are enclosed in a single quotes. Therefore, always you see the argument is always a single character. They are not the sequence of characters. So therefore, they are being mentioned as a character functions. Now coming to the string functions. String functions, what do you mean by string? String is nothing but they are the sequence of characters. Okay, when if I am referring to the string constant, then they are the sequence of characters which are being enclosed in the double quotes. Now here are the some list of the string functions. Whenever I have to use these built-in string functions, always you have to include an header file #include string.h. Remember, S is a lowercase. All the header files string.h, math.h, ctype.h, all should be written in the lowercase only. Okay, now let us start with the first one, that is the string length. Suppose if you have entered a name known as Akhila, you have given the string known as Akhila. Akhila is a string, right? So what is a string? It's a sequence of characters. I want to know the length of the string known as Akhila. I want to know the length of that particular string. Then instead of manually writing with the for loops and all, instead of that I can use just the built-in function. I can just pass here string length of Akhila or string length of Akhila. If you are passing, automatically it will count the number of alphabets, count the number of characters, how many are there, and it would return me the answer, even including the space also. Like say for example, Akhila is one word. Now what if I am giving as C++ programming, C++ space programming, if I am giving completely, even including the blank space also, it will count and it will give me the total length of that particular string. Students, I hope that you are able to understand. It gives a number of characters including the space present in the string. Yes, understood. Okay, we shall move to the next function here, string concatenate. String concatenate means concatenation. I think I've explained in terms of operator overloading. Plus, right? So plus is an operator which is used to add the two numbers when it is being used with the addition. Plus is an operator, it is being used to concatenate the two different strings. Like same way in string functions we have the string concatenate. What it does is it concatenates the string s2 onto the end of the string s1. Think that string 1 we have, okay, good. String 1 consists of the name known as good and s2 consists of morning. Okay, when I pass the arguments like string cat good comma morning, it will attach the second string to the end of the first string and it will give me the answer as good morning. Okay, s1 consists of good, s2 consists of what? Morning. So when I do that string concatenation, this s2, whatever the content is there in the s2 will get attached to the end of the s1 string. Therefore s1 should always have the enough location to hold the s2. That means what? The space should be enough in case to hold the contents of the s1. Now let me explain the next one so that I can explain the all three functions with the programming example. That's why I'm just explaining here. Next we have string copy. Okay, string copy. That means what? Whatever is there in the, suppose I'll take one s1 and s2, I'll take it as a two strings. Okay, in whatever is considered, the s1 is having the content as good and s2 is a blank string. S2 is a blank string, it doesn't contain any value. So when I pass this string copy of s1 comma s2, it copies the character string s2 to the string 1. Therefore s1, whatever is there in the s2 content, whatever is there in the s2 content will be copied in the s1. Now this I'll explain with example so that you can clearly understand. See here, character data type string 1. This is what is array subscript, correct? No? So how many space it can have? Up to 10 space, 10 10 characters it can hold. Okay, so character string of 10 means its size is 10 bytes. Similarly, character string 2 I have taken, again it's also 10 bytes. Now what word I'm moving into the string 1, hello is the word. So how many bytes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So still 5 are remaining. So here also I'm moving the word as a variable in a string 2. Okay, where the capacity of string 2 is 10. Where the capacity of string 1 is 10. Again I'm taking an empty string known as a string 3, but I have just given the size here as 10 bytes, but I didn't assign any value here. And one more variable I am taking as int length in order to calculate the length of the particular string. Now here what I am doing, string copy function I am doing. What it is? String copy function, string 3 comma string 1. This means what? Whatever is there in the string 1, whatever is there in the string 1 will be copied in the string 3. So string copy. So here in this example, string copy s1 comma s2. Whatever is there in the s2 will be copied in s1, but make sure that s1 has enough space to hold the data. That means what? Think here, string 3 is having only 2 bytes, whereas string 1 is having how many? 5 are there. 5 bytes. 5 bytes. So string 1, if it is string copy, when I am using it, whatever the contents is there in string 1 will be moved into string 3, but the capacity of string 3 is just 2 bytes. It cannot hold the data, only 2 characters it can hold. And the other thing is LLO will be completely truncated. It should not happen that. So what it says, that string copy says that whatever is there in the string 1 will be copied in string 3, but string 3 should have enough space to hold the content. Enough storage location it should have to hold the content. I hope you are able to understand. So therefore again the next statement what I am writing, cout copied string is, because where the contents are being moved to? The contents are being moved in the string 3, that is what I'm displaying here. Okay, let me explain the program, then I'll come to the output. The next one is to what? String concatenate. String concatenate, this is string 1, what it is having the contents, it is having hello. String 2 is having the contents known as world. Okay, when I concatenate, when I perform this concatenation, whatever the contents are there in string 2 will be attached to the end of the string 1. Therefore, string 1 should have enough storage location to hold the contents. That is why I have given here as 10 instead of giving as 5, because when I perform concatenation, the contents of string 2 will be attached at the end of the string 1, and the string 1 should have enough capacity to hold these characters. I hope you are able to understand. Moving on to the next instruction here, I am calculating the length of the what? String 3. So this is a built-in function, right? String length of, how many strings I have? I have 3 strings. Which string you want to find the length? Here I have specified as string 3. You can give it string 1 or 2 or something. Okay, after calculating this length of this particular string, I am just moving that value to the variable known as length, whose data type I have given as integer. Always the length will be in terms of integer, right? That is whole number. Therefore, I have taken as int length. Understood? So that answer is been moved into a variable known as length, and finally I am printing it. The length of the string 3 is, where is my answer? My answer is in a variable known as length, so I am displaying it here. Okay, now come to the output part. So what is the first stay out statement? The copied string is. So in what is there in the string 3? Copied string. String 1 is being copied in string 3. Therefore, the copied string, I got the content as hello. Okay, what is in the next one? Concatenation, right? So the concatenated string is, I said, this whatever is there in the contents in string 2 will be attached to the string 1. Therefore, I got as hello world, because whatever is there was in string 2 is being copied at the end of the string 1. Therefore, string 1 should have enough capacity to hold all these, sequence of characters. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. Moving on to the third one, we are calculating the length of the string 3, correct? So, what is the length of string 3? What does the string 3 is consisting of? Because contents of string 1 is being moved into string 3, means string 3 also consists of what? Hello only. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it is giving me as here as the length of the string 3 as 5. I hope students you are able to understand how the string functions we are using. So these programs are not there, but just for you all to understand how the string copy, string concatenation, okay, string length is being used in the programming concept, it is being shown. Moving on to the next functions, that is string compare. Okay, string compare means the sense what? It compares the value of S1 and S2. That means we are passing the two values, right? Two strings we are passing. It compares the string S1 and S2 and find out whether S1 is equal to S2. If string 1 is equal to string 2, I'll get an answer as 0. Okay, suppose for example, string 1, let us consider it is having the value ABCD, lowercase ABCD. And the string 2 is also having the value as lowercase as ABCD. Okay, both are having the same values. Then if I am comparing the two strings, it would return me the answer as 0. I hope you are able to understand. Now suppose if S1 is greater than S2, if S1 is greater than S2, then it will give me the ASCII value. How much it is greater than? It gives me an ASCII value, because all these characters they are understood. They gives me the ASCII value. What is the difference of ASCII value? That much amount, that value it will be given. Then in case of next one, if string S1 is less than S2, then also it will give me the value in terms of negative it will give. Okay, therefore the string compare, it is actually comparing whether the two strings are equal or the two strings are greater than, or if it is the less than. Okay, now we have in case of string compare I we are having, this is not case sensitive. This is case sensitive actually. If my string 1 is A, B, C, D lowercase and the string 2 is uppercase A, B, C, D. So this makes a difference. So it lowercase A, B, C, D is different than the uppercase A, B, C, D because their all ASCII value is different. But if it is string compare I, if it is there, it takes the lowercase a, b, c, d also same, the uppercase also a, b, c, d same, therefore it gives me directly it is equality. Therefore it compares S1 and S2, ignoring the case in the sense what? It treats the lowercase and the uppercase alphabet same only and find out whether S1 is equal to S2, S1 is greater than S2 or S1 is less than the S2. Now let me show this one with an example here. I just took the string compare I have taken. Now see here. String 1 I have taken A, B, C, D, all are lowercase here. String 2 I have taken A, B, C if you observe carefully it is an uppercase and D is again a lowercase. A is lowercase, B is lowercase, C is uppercase and D is again a lowercase. String 3 you observe A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. This is the same as the string 1. So all are the lowercase here. My is very slight difference. This C is quite bigger comparatively these two C. So string 1 and string 3 are same. Whereas in case of string 2, A, B, C is uppercase and D. Now let's see here how it works. I've taken the two integer values, that is result 1 and result 2. Now see here, this is a comment. If I am giving a single line comment, then it should be forwarded by the double slash. If it is a multi-line comment, if these two lines together, if I want to make it as a comment, then forward slash asterisk. Okay, after two lines, here again closing the asterisk and then forward slash. This is how the multiple line comment we can give. This is what is a single line comment. Now what I am doing, firstly I am comparing, string compare. Now this is case sensitive, correct? So lowercase and uppercase strings it will treat different. Okay, string 1 comma string 2. I am comparing string 1 comma string 2 and after comparing I am storing that result in a variable known as result 1. I am storing in a data and result in terms of a variable known as result 1. Similarly, and then I am printing it. Result is, the answer is in result 1, I am printing it. Similarly, I am comparing this time string 1 with string 3. So, string compare string 1 comma string 3, but I am storing in a different variable known as result 2 and I am printing it. But observe here, when I am comparing string 1 with string 2, how it comparison happens? A is a lowercase, this A is also lowercase. So, what is the ASCII value here? ASCII value of small a is 97. ASCII value it considered. ASCII value of small a is 97. So this is also 97. This is also 97. So it is equality. Okay, in character by character it checks for the equality. This B is ASCII value is 99. So this also is correct. This 99 is also equality. But coming to here, what is the ASCII value of this smaller c? The ASCII value of the smaller c is 100. The ASCII value of small c is 100, whereas the ASCII value of the capital C is 67. The ASCII value of the capital C is 67. So therefore this one is higher, no? 100 minus 67 it does. Okay, ASCII value of capital C, smaller c is 100 and capital is 67. Capital is 67, so it does that minus, then again it comes to the smaller d. What is this ASCII value of? This will be 101. 101 minus this is 101, this is also 101. So everything remains the same. So there is no comparison. Only this difference it will calculate. This difference it will calculate and it will give me the answer as 32. Wherein second comparison, when it takes second comparison, string 1 and string 3, how does? Lowercase, as what is the ASCII value of A? 97. This is also 97. This is 98. This is 98. This is lowercase. This is also 100 and 100. Same 101, 101. Everything is same. Therefore, the result will be 0. When it shows me the result, when the strings are equal. Look at the table. It returns me the answer as 0 when the strings are equal. It returns me the positive value when the string 1 is greater than string 2. Therefore, I got the value in the positive value, that is 32. I got the answer, correct? No, that means what, the string 1 C, we have taken the lower case there, so that C was actually the higher because its ASCII value is greater there. So yeah, the ASCII value of this C is greater than this, therefore I got it in positive. Suppose here only the greater value, here the less value if we had, we would have got the answer in terms of negative. So this is how the string compare. Same way, string compare I also works the same, but what it would give, both the side it would give as 0 because it is ignoring the case. It treats all these strings as same only. So both the answer it would result in terms of 0. I hope students you are able to understand. The rest of the concepts, okay, we shall discuss in the next video. Take care of yourself, students. Thank you.